are again graphing the same equations, but this time we're using a different method. This time we're going to use numeric tables. And let me tell you this, whenever you use a numeric table to graph, it doesn't matter what values you use. For the purposes of saying kind of organized in this video, I'm always going to use the values of -1, 0, and 1, except for in cases where I have fractions. And I don't think I have any fractions in this one, so that shouldn't be too hard, okay? And you're going to see that this gets a little bit sloppy because we might not get whole numbers, and that's okay. That's okay. There are better methods of graphing, but sometimes a numeric table helps us in other ways. Okay, so let's start with this first equation. All right, I'm going to put in -1, 0, 1. When I put -1 in for x, I get a -2 plus 9 is 7. When I put a 0 in, 0 times 2 is 0 plus 9. It's going to be 9. When I put 1 in, 1 plus 2 is 2 plus 9 is going to be 11. And when I graph that, so my coordinate points are going to be a collection of my x's and y's. We're going to get -1, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this way it's going to be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, and -9. All right, so our first point is going to be at -1. So x is -1, y is 7. They are going to come together right there. Our second point is going to be x is 0, y is 9. And our third point is going to be x is 1. And y is going to go right off the charts. We can do it. We'll put an 11 up here. Y is 1. X is 1, y is 11. And that's where they would come together. So there's our first equation. Now let's do equation number 2. So we're going to put values in for x. We're going to get y's out. And then we're going to do their ordered pair. So we're going to put the same stuff in. So -1, -3 times a -1 is going to be a +3, plus 10 is 13. We put a 0 in for x. 0 times -3 is 0, plus 10 is 10. If I put 1 in, -3 times 1 is -3, plus the 10 is going to be 7. And these are the points that I'm going to be graphing. So -1 this time is going to correspond with a 13. Okay, because we have that negative on it. All right. And -3 times the 1. And these equations might not even look quite the same as your first one. Okay, and that's just going to more have to do with, they would be the same if you extended out the lines and kept graphing. Okay, we might be just hitting on different points. This one's going to have a 0, 10, so x is 0 and y is 10. That's right here. And next is 1, x is 1, y is 7. They come together right here. And there's our line. So in this method of graphing, I don't have to rearrange this equation. I just have to, put some stuff in for x and solve for y. So same values, not because they're the best values to use, but so you know what to always expect in these videos from me. All right, so if I put -1 in for x, I'm going to have to move it to the other side and make it plus, which is going to give me 3. If I put 0 in for x, it goes away and y just equals 2. And if I put 1 in for x, I'm going to have to subtract it from both sides, and y is going to equal 1. So when I graph these, it's going to be x is -1, y is 3, that's my first point, x is 0, y is 2, and x is 1, y is 1. Very good. All right, so we're going to do x, y, coordinate points. I forgot to do the coordinate points for this one. I'm just going to put them in, just in case you wanted to double check them. All right, so still same things. I'm going to put -1 in for x, which is going to give me a +6, because -6 times a -1 is going to give me a +6. But I got to bring that to the other side, and it's going to become negative. So let me do this one, because this one's a little bit more complicated. Okay, so that becomes a +6. Got to subtract it. 2y equals 4. Divide by the 2, and y equals a 2. This time I'm going to put a 0 in. Okay, 6 times 0 is 0, leaving me with 2y equals 10. Divide both sides by 2, and y equals 5. All right, now I'm going to put 1 in. That's going to be 2y minus 6 equals 10. Got to add 6 to both sides. 2y equals 16. Divide out the 2. Y equals 8. So my coordinate points are going to be -1, 2, 0, 5, 1, 8. All right, so -1, 2, 0, 5, 1, all the way up to 8. Looks like an Easter egg hunt right now. Those colors. All right, all right, all right. One last one. I'm going to erase a little bit so that I can fit it in. So I don't really need one. Oh, let's stick with Easter egg colors. So we're going to do X, Y, coordinate points. All right, so let's, same numbers just for organizational reasons. First thing I'm going to do is put in my -1. -1 times 4 is a -4. Add it to both sides, I get a 16. Oh, our first fraction. Okay, I'm going to turn this into a mixed number so that I can get it in the right place. And that's going to be 5 1/3. You're going to see how hard it is to graph it this way. And that is why we get our next way of doing it, which is intercepts, because they're a lot more stable, a lot easier to do. All right, next I'm going to put a 0 in. That's going to go to 0. 3y equals 12. Divide by 3. Y equals 4. Last one. 4 times 1 is 4. Got to subtract that on both sides. 3y, another 1, divided by 3 is going to give me a fraction. Let's turn that into a mixed number. 3 goes into 8 2 times with 2 left over. So these are my points. -1, 5 1/3, 0, 4, and 1 2/3. So if graphing already wasn't that much of a science, it's going to get even more muddy. Our first point is -1 and 5 1/3. So I got to go all the way up to 5 and go about a third of the way towards 6. Next one is 0, 4. And the next one is 1 and 2 2/3. So yeah. We need another method, which is the next graphing method that you learned, which we will learn soon. So our next equation, let's do glittery this time. See if it's majorly distracting and I should never use it again. We'll find out. Okay, I have no place in my equation to put x's, but I know no matter what, y is always going to be 4. The same thing with 7. It's just always going to be the same thing. Oh, no, this is -4 down here. Y is going to be a -4. All of the values are just going to be -4. It's never going to go through an x, so I can't even do a table of values for this one because all the values are going to be that one thing. It's not even going to go through the other axis, and a numeric table is two-way. It has to have two variables, and I don't even have 2 variables. I don't know if I like that one. Let's try this one. All right, so in this one, everything has to be x is 2. So go through the x-axis at 2, and it has to just keep going. And it's this one. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, that's it for this worksheet. Keep practicing your graphing, and I'll see you guys in class. Bye.